was one of those big movers all of last week on the back of a stellar set of numbers coming in, backed by good management commentary as well. And as the news flashed at the bottom of your screen, there was a vertical spike on CreditAccess as well. Closer to 22,000 crore market cap, promoters having a 66% stake. Could be a near $2 billion sale. Axis Bank is the front runner here. Yash brings us the story. Let's go across to Yash. Yash.
Well, absolutely. This could be a very big development brewing in the banking space. What we've been given to understand from our sources is that at this point of time, Axis Bank is at the stage of evaluating acquisition of the entire promoter stake when it comes to CreditAccess Grameen. Once the evaluation at the team level, of course, goes and concludes, then, of course, it may also consider placing a bid for that entire 66% promoter stake in CreditAccess Grameen. What we've been given to understand from our sources is that the promoters of CreditAccess Grameen, have initiated the process to sell their entire 66% stake in the company. Investment bankers have been appointed for running this process of the entire promoter stake sale. What we've been given to understand from our sources is that there is one foreign investment bank and one Indian investment bank which have been given the mandate already to run the process of selling this entire 66% stake. As far as the value of the promoter stake itself is concerned, it is about 14,000 crore rupees, as you rightly said, market cap of about 22,000 crore rupees for CreditAccess Grameen. CNBC-TV18 has written to all parties involved in this particular transaction, CreditAccess Grameen as well as Axis Bank. We are yet to receive a reply from the entities, but just to understand the size of CreditAccess Grameen, a branch network of about 2,222 branches, customer base of about 44 lakh customers, AUM of nearly about 26,000 crore rupees. So a large entity where the promoter is looking to sell its entire stake, and one of the largest private bank, Axis Bank, looking and evaluating the process of acquisition of this.
Right. Yash, just to understand this a little more, do you have any inkling on the kind of price that this deal is likely to happen at? Have discussions reached that stage? And also the mode of funding for Axis Bank, because it's not a small deal.
Of course, it's a large transaction. It is still away from the point where the pricing for the transaction would be decided, because the team at this point of time at Axis Bank, according to our sources, is still evaluating this particular transaction. And if it reaches the point of Axis Bank actually placing a bid and going ahead with this transaction, then, as you said, it's a large transaction, and there could be a possible fundraising at Axis Bank also to really support this transaction and go ahead.
It'll be very interesting there. And if it's the entire promoter stake, then perhaps the possibility of an open offer comes in as well. Ritu, a deal brewing in this space. Axis Bank looking to acquire, what, $2 billion worth promoter stake in CreditAccess?
In fact, it was about 2 to 3 years back that Axis Bank had told us it is keenly eyeing an acquisition in the MFI space. At that time, of course, there were rumors about Spandana Spurti and so on, a deal that did not really materialize. But now, yeah, this will be a big acquisition to watch out for, and an interesting one at that in the MFI space, where credit growth is picking up for across the banks that you talk to. The pain that we'd seen last year seems to be improving, and that's the space a lot of banks are bullish on. And Axis Bank looking to acquire promoter stake in Grameen. That'll be a big deal to watch out for. So, Yash, thanks very much for bringing us that update. We have to slip into a short break, but up next, we'll get you more on the markets just in a bit.